Wordle warriors, gather round, because today's puzzle was one of those that made even the pros pause for a second. The answer? NASAL. And yes, I know what you're thinking. It was literally right under your nose the whole time. I love these kinds of puzzles because they make you question every guess, then slap you with a word so obvious you can't help but laugh. If you played today's game and felt that little mix of frustration and relief at the end, you are definitely not alone. Trust me, I've been in that exact same spot more times than I'd like to admit, staring at that little green, yellow, and gray grid like it's mocking me. Now, here's where it gets interesting. See, Wordle isn't just about luck. It's about strategy. The best players don't just type in the first word that pops into their heads. They start with a calculated opener. Think about it like setting up in chess. You wouldn't just throw out random moves, you'd plan ahead. My go-to starters are words like crane or slate because they're packed with common vowels and high-frequency consonants. Starting with those gives you the most possible feedback from your first guess. And in today's puzzle, if you hit that end right out of the gate, you were already halfway there. Before I spoil it completely for anyone still guessing, let's drop a hint. Today's word has 5 letters, 2 vowels, 3 consonants, start with N, and, well, it's something you've definitely got on you right now. It's also something that comes up in awkward moments, like when you're trying not to sneeze in public. If you were thinking along those lines, you probably got it pretty fast. And for those of you who stuck around through that little tease, here's your answer: NASAL and NASAL. The kind of word that's so simple, it makes you wonder how it still managed to feel tricky. Let's talk about how you could have gotten there faster, because Wordle is all about pattern recognition. Once you know your starting letter, the next step is to identify your vowels. Today I had a repeated something you could have spotted early if you tested vowels strategically. After your first guess, focus on testing different vowel combinations. A and O, A and E, I and O, because once you lock those down, you're basically just filling in consonants. And in NASAL, you've got some very common consonants, S and L, that show up all the time in Wordle solutions. That's why a guess like basil or nasal, after a couple tries, could have locked in the win. And let's not ignore the mental game. Wordle has this sneaky way of making you overthink. You'll have the answer sitting right there in your brain, but skip it because you think, nah, that's too easy. Then you burn 2 more guesses chasing obscure words before finally circling back. Been there, done that, lost a streak. The trick is to trust your instincts once the letters fit, even if it feels too obvious. So, here's my challenge for you. Tomorrow, I want you to try this method. Start with a strong opener. Test your vowels in the second guess. Lock in consonants on the third, and see how fast you can land the answer. Drop your results in the comments, so we can see who's really got that Wordle speedrun energy. And if you beat the game today in 3 guesses or less, brag away. You've earned it. If this breakdown made your Wordle grind a little easier, or if you just like the mix of hints, strategy, and the occasional bad pun, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's breakdown, and ring the bell so you're in on the answer before anyone else. We're building a little Wordle squad here, and trust me, you don't want to be the one who misses out on the next under-your-nose victory.